Hey there, this is a quick little guide on how to get started with MySQL. I'm just heading over to Technical Marketing Guide to the article here that I wrote, and I'm just jumping ahead a bit because I obviously know some about the article as I wrote it, and I'm gonna start directly with these steps I provided here. First of all, we're gonna install SQL. Therefore, I'm just downloading this here and going back to the article, downloading MAMP. We're gonna go with this one. That's correct. Not gonna do this. Okay, I jumped forward a bit because the installing took a while. Let's see if we got it here. MAMP. We are getting two folders. Just ignore the MAMP Pro folder for a sec. And we're gonna open MAMP here. So basically, the only thing that you need to do every time you want to set up your test environment for MySQL queries, you're gonna start this server. This makes sure that there's a MySQL server running in the background, which we need to have a testing environment for SQL queries. And once the server is set up, you're going to be greeted with this welcome screen. And here is a section about MySQL, which tells you the host, the port, the user, and the password. These are information, these are elements that we need in a minute. So the next step is that we're going to open up SQL. That's the other software that we just downloaded. And we're going to get greeted with this connection dialog. And we're going to see, so this is actually in the tutorial, we see that there's some example data, which we're going to enter just now. But the port is different here. I'm just going to check something really quick. If you head into preferences and see port, then here actually, where my mouse is, here is another port. So use this port instead of looking at the data that was provided here, as this is going to work. So we're just going to say local testing environment. The host is localhost, or enter the information that I provided here. Localhost, username root, password root, and port is the port that we just had. And we're gonna add that to favorites, and we're gonna connect. And there you are. You are in a running testing environment. We didn't select the database just yet. There is some database. There are some databases already there, but we're not going to use those, as those are databases that come with MAMP. We're going to build our own database. So let's head back to the tutorial. I'm going to create or add a database. So we're going to head over to SQL. Just press this little button here, or actually not this button, add database here, drop down from here, and we're going to add a database. Yeah, call it test environment. Be sure not to enter any spaces or stuff like that. It's not best practice. I'm gonna select this encoding and this collation. This looks fine to me. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. I'm gonna add that, and we see that our test environment is already selected. So we are already in a database, but we don't have a table yet. We're gonna create a table by, there's two options basically to create a table. One is the query, which you have selected here. So you could just create a table by typing, but you can also use this a little guy down here, and you can just create a table by clicking or using the interface, which is sometimes a little bit easier. So I'm just going to call this table orders, click add, and we have a database which already has a standard field. So there's one field already created with the type int and length 11, which is defined as the primary key. The field we can obviously delete. We can do whatever we want to. We can just by double clicking in the second row, I can add another field. For example, I could add a cust email with a type of varchar and the length of 255, for example, and it asks me for a default value, which we can leave at null for the time being. Yeah, this is also shown in this little GIF down here in the guide. And the other option, instead of just creating a table by clicking in the UI, we could let's delete this table altogether at the moment and head into a query. Just paste my example statement here. So here's a create table statement with we are creating a table with the name orders with three field IDs. So there's order ID, total price, and cust ID, and we define the primary key. And I just run this command by pressing Command R or run previous. Basically, the statement is highlighted to let you know which statement is running, as I could also write more queries in the same window. But for now, we're just gonna hit Command R, and you see that this table was created, and we can look at the structure of the table and check if everything was done correctly, and it looks really good. 3 fields, and with the types that we defined, so our table is set up and just waits for some data to be put in. To import data from a CSV file, which is is pretty common actually, we're gonna head over to the example data that I provided, and we're gonna hit file, download as CSV in the comma separated values. Download it. We have that here. I'm just gonna rename this to, oh, that's not what I wanted. Force quit. Just gonna rename this to orders. And well, let's see, we're gonna go back into the guide and we're gonna copy the statement that we need. So I'm just gonna copy that in. Be sure to enter a semicolon after each statement that you put in. See how the highlighted part changes when I edit the semicolon. It just tells the application when the statement is done. So this statement should be run by itself. I already provided the correct data here, so it's users dynamic downloads orders.csv. If you are looking for a way how to quickly find out this path to the file, here's a tip. Just open up a terminal window and open up the Finder location where your file is located at, and just drag it over to the terminal window. So can just highlight this path. We'll quickly tell you the path of the file, put it in here. I already did that, but for the sake of the argument, do it again. And we have the correct path. Here we specified a few things. First of all, what the values are separated by. To quickly check how the file is set up, just open this with a text editor like TextEdit. So you see there's the commas are the values are comma separated. So this is fine. The enclosed by sometimes if you have text in the database, then this will be a standard thing to have, and these are this is the information of the line termination. And we're telling the command that the first line, as it shouldn't be imported, as these are the columns actually, column names. So we're gonna hit Command R again to run the command, and we get this little status down here. It says no errors, 19 rows affected, taking 10 milliseconds. To quickly check if everything went fine, just head over to the Content tab, and here you go. All the information has been passed correctly. We have total price, we have the cust ID, the order ID. And now I could start to do some simple queries. For example, select star from orders, which basically just does the same as clicking content. It just selects everything from the table orders. To do a quick check if the field values have been passed correctly, I could just do a sum of the total price. This is really simple, and we see that the summation works perfectly. So we're all set. We could do some other things like group by cust. I think I called it cust ID, and now we have some sums, but we don't have a column with the cust ID. I'm gonna add that quickly. Cust ID. Here you go. We can give this name, as it looks a little bit weird here. Say like revenue here. There you go. We have a quick little select over the cust IDs and the total revenue of the customers. We could add, for example, a count for the count of orders, and there you go. We did something that we wanted to do. We have a table. We condensed the information to just show us all the customer IDs with their respective order counts and revenue sums. Yeah, that's basically it for now. Super easy. This is how you set up your local testing database or local testing environment on a Mac with SQL Pro and MAMP. If you like these kinds of guides, just head over to technicalmarketing.guide, where I share lots of interesting stuff related to technical marketing. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and see you guys on the next one.